You put weeks into your tomato and pepper plants, watching them grow with pride. Then you walk out one morning to a disaster zone. Your leaves are riddled with holes, plants are wilted, and your seedlings are neatly severed at the soil line. It feels like a personal insult. But what if I told you this was a solvable mystery and every bit of damage was a clue? Today, I'm turning you into a garden detective. We'll examine the damage left by 3 most common pests for tomatoes and peppers, and I'm going to show you how to identify the culprits and give you a simple, organic treatment plan to take back your garden. Our first clue is the most heartbreaking, the mystery of the fallen seedling. You go to bed with healthy tomato and pepper seedlings, and you wake up to find 1 or maybe even a dozen just lying in the soil. Their stems are perfectly severed at ground level. This isn't a disease, it's the work of the cutworm. Cutworms are caterpillar stage of night flying moths. During the day, they hide just under the soil. If you dig one up, it'll immediately curl into a classic C shape. They're usually brown, gray, and kind of smooth look. At night, they wrap around these tender little stems and chew right through it, devastating new transplants. So how do we treat and stop these cutworms? Stopping cutworms is about creating a barrier. First, and most effective, is a simple collar. When you plant your seedling, place a collar made from a piece of toilet paper tube or some type of cardboard and put it around it, pushing it to about 1 inch into the soil. The cutworm cannot get through to the stem. Second, go on night patrol. If you see fresh damage, the pest has got to be nearby. Head out after dark with a flashlight and pick them off and drop them into some soapy water. Alright, our next case isn't a clean cut, but it's a random pattern of holes. You look at your tomato or pepper leaves and you see they're covered in tiny little round holes, like someone peppered them with a tiny little hole punch. The classic shot hole damage is the work of the flea beetle. Flea beetles are tiny, often shiny and black. Their giveaway is the escape plan. The second you get close to them, they jump and they vanish, just like a flea. A single beetle isn't really the problem. They arrive in huge numbers, and their collective feeding can kill a seedling in under 48 hours. So, how do we stop these flea beetles? With these guys, exclusion is the key. Your best defense is a floating row cover. A lightweight fabric that you drape over your plants when they're actually young. It lets the sun and the water through, but it blocks the beetles. Second, try planting a trap crop. Fleas love radishes, so plant a border of these to draw them away from your peppers and your tomatoes. For an active festation, try dusting the soil of your plants with a food-grade diagnose earth. But remember, you're going to have to apply this after a rain. So which of these pests are you battling? Let me know down in the comments. If you're finding this helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss our final pest. They don't just chew your plants, they actually drain the life right out of them. So our final investigation leads us to twisted, yellowing new growth on your tomatoes and peppers. Look closer, especially on the undersides of the leaves, and you're going to find clusters of tiny, pear-shaped insects. Everything on the plant is sticky, and the sticky residue is called honeydew, and it's the signature of the aphid. Aphids are vampires of the garden, using their sharp mouth parts to drain the sap right out of your plants. A single aphid can give birth to dozens of live young babies without mating. So a small problem explodes in days. Here's a pro tip. If you see a line of ants marching up your plants, follow them. They often farm aphids for their honeydew and will lead you right to the colony. So how do we stop these pests? Controlling aphids is all about disruption and reinforcements. First, and the most easiest method, a strong blast of water from your hose, especially on the undersides of the leaves. This will knock them right off. If that's not enough, use an insecticidal soap or neem oil which are contact sprays. Be sure to coat the aphids completely, spraying them in the evening to avoid leaf burn. The best long-term solution is to bring in their natural predators. Ladybugs and lacewings are aphid hunters. You can attract them by planting flowers like alyssum, dill, or cilantro. So let's do a quick recap for the garden culprits. You find severed seedlings, that's the work of the cutworm. So protect your planting with simple cardboard collars. If your leaves are riddled with tiny little shot holes, you're dealing with flea beetles. And the best defense is floating row covers. And if you find a sticky, distorted new growth, you've got aphids, which you can start battling with a strong blast of water. These are no longer unsolvable problems. You can read the signs, identify the pest, and know exactly how to respond. The key is to be present in your garden. Walk through your garden every single day and look closely, because if you catch these pests early, that's half of the battle. You now have the knowledge and you can protect your garden you've worked so hard for. I want to thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell notification to get notified whenever I drop a new video. Thank you to all of you that have subscribed to my channel. This means so much to me. It just shows that we're actually building a great gardening community. Let's keep this garden community growing together, and like always, keep it growing.